Make sure I record that. I had a better idea for this one than the buggy Microsoft whiteboard.
Okay.
Which is just a slideshow.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, Andor, I think, would be a little bit harder to do with a map and moving portraits around.
Yeah. Yeah, less care is put into stuff like that.
Anyway, there's that.
I think. Oh, you
Okay.
go over this a little bit. And the cool thing about these BUZZED recaps is that they're a little less formal.
I think you need a title slide, but otherwise.
Yeah. I got my notes.
Alrighty. Well, is it time?
Yeah, let's start. So, if you're longtime fans of the series, you might know that we started a special thing called BUZZED Recap, and we did. I shit you not.
All of Game of Thrones.
All 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, and it was a blast. It was so much fun, and you hadn't seen any of it. You still haven't. We're going to watch it eventually.
Oh God.
But it was me telling you everything that happened in every episode, all of the characters' movements around the Westeros and shit.
Whose dicks got chopped off? Who got incinerated by dragons?
Right. Yeah. Or both.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a little different. So, Star Wars Andor comes out
Tuesday.
Yeah. By the time that we're recording this, it's under a week. So we thought it might be helpful if we kind of did
just refresh everyone's memories.
A little refresher about what
are.
happened. Yeah. So I'm going to try to get through the entire season in 2 hours.
I think we can do it.
I think we can too, and the shorter the better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Yeah, we'll get started. So by the way, this is not like a new Rockstars style. Every single detail that you missed and all this other bullshit.
We're just hitting broad strokes.
Yes. Well, sometimes a little less broad, but there might be some characters that are left out, or maybe even like if there are B plots that don't end up really being super important. Which I mean, this show is actually kind of lean.
Yeah.
So like there isn't a ton of that anyway. But if you're watching, we do a podcast right now every Wednesdays, 6 o'clock p.m. Central, where we talk about Star Wars and other nerdy stuff. We'll be doing Andor season 2 after shows because they are dropping them 3 episodes at a time, which is insane.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone comprehends just how much Star Wars that is until we get there, because these episodes are like 45-50 minutes long.
Right.
Like that is full movie length of Star Wars for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. In the spirit of BUZZED Recap, by the way, we do have our drinks, which I think we're drinking tonight. What are we drinking tonight?
Rum and Coke?
Specifically.
What we always drink?
Bacardi Gold, yeah. So we're going to get started. I think we'll probably...
Right now.
Yeah, we'll probably read comments as they come in and everything. So if we miss anything that you thought is important...
Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Otherwise, I don't care. Okay, so let me tell you real quick where we are era-wise in the Star Wars universe. And I'm just now realizing this worked out for Game of Thrones because you'd never seen it. But we have both seen this show, I think, more than once. So you also jump in if it, like, you know, if anything.
As
like if
the
I
spirit moves me.
This is after Star Wars Episode 3, but before Star Wars Episode 4. So the Emperor's reign is iron tight right now. The Empire reigns the universe, or at least the galaxy, and it's everything Palpatine wanted. He has complete control over everything, and the Empire is kind of the final say.
Little does he know that in a few years, a farm boy from Tatooine is eventually going to, spark some things happening. But
kill millions of people.
Yes. But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We have a fella by the name of Cassian Andor.
Now, another thing worth mentioning is that because of the order that things were released, we know Cassian Andor from the movie Star Wars Rogue One. And we know that he goes on to have a happy life and lives until a ripe age.
None of that is true. He dies horribly.
Yeah. It's a Star Wars Rogue One, the one where they all die.
Yes.
But this is him a few years before the events, okay? And we open on Andor Season 1, Episode 1, called Casa. I'm going to move some stuff around. Oh, no, I don't need this. I only need my mouse.
Okay.
So we meet Cassian Andor, seen on your screen now. This rugged, sexy man played by Diego Luna, who walks into a seedy brothel on a planet called Morlana 1. And most people are there to fuck. And he's like, have you seen my sister? And they're like,
okay, that's really fucking weird. But, if that's your fetish, we don't judge here.
He's like, look, she's a girl, obviously. She's Canary. She looks kind of like me. And one of the... I guess one of the bar people was like, well, there was a girl that was here several months ago, but she left. Meanwhile, there are a couple of drunk dudes at the bar. We're like, hey, we want you to pay attention to us and not him. And Andor was like, fuck guys, I'm just looking for my sister. Leave me the fuck alone. And so he leaves, right? And these two drunk guys follow him out. Verlo and Kravis are their names. I have to remember exactly how I did this. Verlo and Kravis, yeah. So they follow him out because they're just two random drunk cops, and as we know, regular cops are the worst, but drunk cops have to make everything everyone's problems. And so they follow him out, and they corner him, and they're like, "Hey, look, we're cops. Oh no, you're probably gonna get arrested or shaken down." And things get out of a little control, and one guy slips and dies. And then Cassian looks at the other cop and is like, no witnesses, and kills him too. And then is like, oh, I just killed two guys. I should probably leave.
Yeah.
And so he leaves. Remember, the one guy was an accident. The other guy he straight up executed.
Yeah, that was cold-blooded.
Yeah. So he flees the scene. He's now a wanted man. So we go to Ferrix, which is where Cassian lives. It's like a salvage planet, or at least in a salvage area. And we meet B2 EMO, also called B2, who is Cassian's clunky, adorable droid, right? And he helps Cassian once he gets there, and their relationship is really cute. And there's this really funny gag where he doesn't want B2 to tell on him to his mother.
Yeah.
And so he's like, can you just lie? And he's like, yes. I have just enough power to lie for you. And he's like, okay, you never saw me, you never knew where I was. And he's like, okay, hold on. That's two lies. I'm gonna have to recharge. It's this fucking droid is adorable and has as much, as you will find out later, by the end, as much to do with starting the rebellion as anyone else. So Cassian visits his buddy Brasso.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I was with you all night. And he's like, what the fuck did you do? He's like, I didn't ask you that. I said, I was with you all night. And so Brasso, like a fucking bro, makes up this whole story. He's like,
you were with me all night.
You were with me. Things got a little heated. You fell out of your chair, busted your face up. I brought you home. There. Now, and listen to me. Start showing up to fucking work. You need to work. And it's really sweet. So Cassian also seeks out his friend Bix Kayleen, who is sharp and resourceful. She's a mechanic. She works at a junkyard. And
they all work at a junkyard. That's their planet's thing.
Yeah, whole thing is a junkyard. So something clearly used to be happening between Bix and Cassian isn't happening anymore. And things are, kind of tense between them. And Cassian's like, look, I have an Imperial Star Path unit that I need to sell. So you know that real shady guy that you call that comes in and buys real dangerous things for lots of money? I need you to call him. And she's like, you know that guy doesn't fuck around, right? And he's like, yes.
Yes, that is why I need you to call him.
Yes.
Because I need to get rid of this yesterday.
Yeah, well, actually,
very hot merchandise.
More specifically, I need to get rid of this, but I need the credits for it right now so I can get the fuck out of here. By the way, I executed a man. Anyway. So she's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So on Morlana 1, we meet Deputy Inspector Cyril Karn.
Oh, God, this guy.
And this guy, let me tell you, Chris.
He's a real tight ass.
This guy's a real cunt. This guy, if you were to take, you know those real annoying bootlickers on social media who are always like, well, if you didn't do anything wrong, why aren't you letting him search your car? Those guys, that's Cyril, right? Except that he's not even a cop, really.
He's like mall security.
He's corporate security,
yeah,
right? And so he finds out about this murder that happened to the guys that Cassian murdered, and he gives a report to his Chief Hine. He's like, "Hey, these guys were murdered. We should do something about it. We must, do justice and blah blah blah." And Chief Hine's like,
dude, that is so much fucking paperwork that I don't want to do.
Yeah. I got a better idea. They rushed to someone's aid. They died. Make them heroes, but not like obnoxious heroes.
Heroically in the line of duty.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And that'll be it.
Yep.
And Cyril's like, how dare you? And the chief is like, okay, look, I got to go listen, I have to go report to the Imperials now and tell them about our crime rates. So we are going to fudge this. So I don't have to talk about it ever. You're in charge when I'm gone. Stay out of my fucking office. Do not order any investigations or overtime.
I cannot stress this enough. Do not investigate those 2 murders.
Right.
Do not.
Yeah. Also,
like, this is the one specific order I'm giving you. Do not investigate those murders.
Also, did you tailor your own uniform? And he's like, yes, sir, I did. I put some new piping on it. I'll give it a little bit of tailoring. He's like, a fucking nerd. Get the fuck out of my office.
This fucking guy.
So, back on Ferrix, we meet Tim Carlo, who is from Space Scotland and is Bix's current boyfriend. Okay. And he doesn't like so much how Cassian looks at Bix. And he gets a little jealous, a little insecure and shit. And he kind of realizes that maybe something is going on because Bix is all of a sudden acting real real weird and shit. So we get a flashback to when Cassian was a child on a planet called Canary, and he's living in this tribal society of children, and he's got this little sister, and they go out on these like scavenging raids and shit. And they see a ship crash, and in their weird child languages, they're like, you can tell that Cassian wants to go on the next raiding party, but he's like kind of young and shit. Yeah, and they're trying to figure out what to do about this Republic ship that just came crashing out of the sky near them. Bix runs up to her secret radio and messages this mysterious buyer. Tim like kind of follows her. And she's like, what the fuck is this girl doing? So Cyril Karn, the second the chief leaves, is like, I'm ordering an investigation and I'm approving all overtime. And so they do some CSI. They do some zoom and enhance. Where you go, stop.
Enhance.
Zoom in. Enhance that. And they're like, oh, this guy like made it through, and they figure out that there's this guy named Cassian Andor who is like now their prime suspect. Yeah. And there's this really good shot of Cyril looking at a hologram of Cassian, and you can see the synapses like fire for that obsession. He just becomes immediately. Cyril has a problem with obsession with people because Cassian is not the only person he gets obsessed with in the show. So, back in the flashback world, on Canary, Cassa, is able to get himself on the raiding party, and they're going to go check out the ship.
Okay, good for him.
So episode 2, that would be me. The tribe of children trek through the jungle toward the down ship, which is a part of this abandoned Imperial mine.
Well, it crashed in this abandoned Imperial mine.
Right. So they find the ship, and they find the crash ship, but they don't know much about it yet.
Yep.
So I'm mentioning Hammer Guy.
Oh god,
because this guy's pretty neat.
This is some of my favorite world building of the entire show.
So look,
like they don't have bells; they have this slab of metal. This guy gets up here and hits with hammers just to really drive home how industrial and like blue collar this planet is.
This society probably started off with a guy that got up kind of early to go to work, a smith or something, and would bang out some metal. And that turned into this tradition that probably handed down from father to son, with this guy going up in this fucking tower and waking everybody up on Ferrix, banging away at this thing, right? And it's how they know how the day has started. Yeah. It's actually kind of beautiful because the he has a certain form when he does it, like he holds himself a certain way.
It's extremely ceremonial.
Yeah, it's also very Japanese, the way that he does it. In fact, he kind of, now I'm looking at it, he kind of looks like he's wearing Hakama pants, doesn't he?
I think that's an apron, but I could be wrong.
What are Hakama pants if not just a big flowy apron with 2 legs? So on Ferrix, Cassian kind of nervously waits for Bix to confirm that the buyer's coming. And Bix tells him to be ready. She's like, hey, he's coming. Don't fuck this up for me. This guy is kind of a big deal.
It's big muckety muck.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I got the Star Path unit. It's ready. Everything's great. So Tim Carlo, who is suspicious and thinking maybe Cassian is boinking his girlfriend, decides to be an absolute asshole and calls the cops on Cassian. And he's like, hey, I know a Canary guy. He's here. His name's Cassian. Probably the guy you're looking for. This is his address. And he's fucking my girlfriend. So if you could...
Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't
be this guy.
Even if you think someone is having carnal knowledge of your significant other, don't call the cops on them. Come on.
Shut the fuck up. So he tells the cops, here he is. Come get her. That way I'm the only person fucking my girlfriend. So Cyril gets this fucking tip and just goes, oh man, this guy's like, this is my motherfucking moment, right? Yes. And he calls up this other guy named Sergeant Linus Mosk, who's this other dumpy guy.
Extremely Scottish, right?
Or something, yeah, I don't know.
He has an accent.
Yeah. And they're both like, we are going on an op.
We are big fucking heroes about to make the score of a lifetime.
We are going boots on the ground to Ferrix. It's going to be fucking glorious. And one of the other guys is like, did you get permission? He's like, I don't need fucking permission.
I am the law.
I am the law. We're going. So we meet Marva, who is Cassian's mother figure, who is played by the world-class actor Fiona Shaw, who you might remember as Aunt Petunia Dursley from the Harry Potter series. And
honestly, she was wasted in that role. But
in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Okay, so my partner and I talked about this briefly because we've been rewatching Andor to get ready for next week. Because Petunia is such an unlikable character, I ended up transferring that to the actor as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the woman who plays Umbridge.
Oh, yeah. God, she's awful.
But her actor is phenomenal.
Yeah, the fact that she can make you feel those things is a testament to how good that actor is.
But also having seen her in other stuff where it's like, you are seriously fucking amazing. And this is one of those things as well. So she's older. She's not doing particularly well. So she's kind of at home with the droid and shit. And Cassian is like, hey, I'm going to have to leave soon. And I think he lets slip somewhere that he tells someone that he's from Canary, and she's like, why the fuck did you do that? Remember, you're from Fest. And he's like, no, I only told 10 people. It's not that big of a deal. And so she's like, well, this is how you get caught, Cassian. Good fucking job.
We're all so proud of you.
Yeah. So back on flashback land on Canary. Or not Canary.
No, this is Canary.
Yeah. So Casa and the tribe investigate the wreckage, and they find some crew members that have died. They've succumbed to like gas inhalation or exposure or something. One of the crewmen suddenly shoots the tribe's leader.
Oh, God.
Kills her instantly, and they all pull out their fucking blow darts and like puncture this man maybe 100 million times with a bunch of darts.
He's a pincushion.
Yeah, and he does a really funny thing where he like kind of like turns around and there's a bunch of darts sticking out his back and he just falls over. Fucking dead, by the way. So Casa doesn't like he's frozen with indecision, and you can tell that he's never been a part of violence like this. But like there's something about this ship, man. And he's like, I got to see what's inside.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you saw a spaceship crash out of the sky, wouldn't you want to go look at it?
No, that's true. That's fair.
Especially if you're a 12-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, here they are. Oh,
my
God.
God.
So they get in their fucking ship, and they go toward fucking Ferrix, right? And Cyril Karn and this Moss guy, they hold a briefing.
They got their body armor on. They got their fucking
guns.
Witness picture. They got their guns. Yeah. They're feeling real big and full of themselves.
They're military cosplayers.
Yes.
Right. And
just like American police.
Exactly. And so Cyril tries to give this fucking like pre-game inspirational leadership speech.
He is so bad at it.
He blows the whole thing. So
some of you may die.
Yeah.
And that is a price that I'm willing to pay.
Yeah. So Bix confirms to Cassian that she's like, hey, the buyer guy's going to be here tomorrow. But just a warning, like once you sell, you need to get the fuck out of here because I'm pretty sure like there are some people looking for you. Probably not my boyfriend would never turn you on, I don't think.
Certainly not.
Yeah. So back on Canary in the past, Casa sneaks into the down ship and he's exposed to all of this technology he's never seen before. It doesn't know where to start. And
the fuck are all these buttons and lights?
Yeah, and just start smashing stuff because like, oh, maybe I'll break it. Okay. So
man.
We get our first look at Bix's mysterious buyer, whose name is Luthen Rael. And he lands on Ferrix.
This man's face makes me smile, not because like the character is a pleasant person or he has a particularly like likable face, but because this character is done so well from the writing to the acting to the costumes and props, just like everything about Luthen is just so great.
He is multi-layered and complex. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So he lands his fancy fucking ship and then takes a shuttle into Ferrix. And everything about this guy is calm, deliberate, calculating. He always knows where the exits are. This dude does not fuck around. And he's got a really cool walking stick that looks kind of like a lightsaber. So, I'm not sure why this is in my notes again. But basically what we're taking away from this is that everyone on this ship is dead.
Yes.
And one of them was definitely killed by a bunch of children. And this like is kind of a problem because as we'll find out later, like the Republic might show up and find out that a little tribe of children killed their guys, and they might have a big problem.
They win a little Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. So Luthen gets to Ferrix, and he heads toward an abandoned factory where Cassian has agreed to help him. Right, meet him. And there's this really good line he says to this guy he's talking with here. This guy says, hey, if you can't find it on Ferrix, it isn't worth being found. And in the moment, you don't know what it is, but there's a part of Luthen's brain that's like, why do you think I'm here? And you, like, on the second watch, you're like, oh, right, he was never here for that fucking Starpath unit, right? So Cyril and Linus Mosk show up at Cassian's mom's house. And is like, we're real cops, get the fuck out of the way. And she's like, I didn't ask.
Do you have a warrant?
Yeah, and he's like,
the fuck's a warrant?
Do we get a warrant? And he's like, no. He's like, we don't need a warrant. Let us in. Let's fuck in. And so they turn her house upside down looking for Cassian, right? and they harass the droid. Motherfuckers harass the droid.
Unforgivable.
By the way, as they're tossing her house, people in Ferrix are starting to walk by her house like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening at Marva's house? So,
in the past.
Yeah, they interrogate Marva about Cassian, and she's like, who the fuck's Cassian? Get the fuck out of my house. So, in the past, Marva and her husband Clem show up, and they see a feral child ripping apart computers and shit. And Marva puts together that if the Republic shows up, they're going to think that Cassa killed, like, at least one person.
He's full of darts.
Right. And because they're there to salvage the ship. They're like, this bitch just freshly crashed. We're going to get some spark plugs out of this bitch and run. Mm-hmm. But, and this is ignoring Clem's reservations, it takes Cassian with them, fucking knocks him out.
Yep. And
slings him over his shoulder. It was like, we have a kid now. And they rescue him, more or less. So Cassian meets Luthen at the abandoned warehouse, right? And Luthen arrives, and Kiro Fiction says, "Oh, hey, what's up?" So Luthen starts off like, "So you got a Star Path unit? What do you want for it?" And he's like, 40,000 credits, and he's like, "Damn, that's a lot of money."
It's quite the Star Path unit you got there.
How do I know? How do I know you're not a spy or something? He's like, "Dude, stop fucking around with me." And he's like, "Okay, let me cut to the chase. You were Cassian Andor. You did X, Y, and Z. You killed those guys at Morlana."
Cassian's like, "I killed one guy.
Yeah.
The other was an accident."
And he's like, "Well, they're both dead, aren't they?" And he's like, "What if I were to tell you that I'm not here for an Imperial Star Path unit? What if I told you I was here for you?" And Cassian's like, "Well, I would think that was really fucking weird." And he's like, "You know what really interests me about the whole Star Path unit thing? And which, by the way, if that's all I can get, I'll pay you the fucking 40 grand for it, right? But tell me how you got it." And Cassian's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, I'll pay you an extra $1,000. Tell me how you got it." And he's like, "It's fucking easy. You just walk into their house and pretend like you're supposed to be there. They're so fucking arrogant and you are so low that they don't even notice you. You walk past them, you shit in their food. They don't know because they couldn't possibly imagine that anyone would ever have the gall to speak truth to power. And that's how I did it. Walked straight into their fucking house, and I took it because I wanted it." And Luthen's like, "That's why
I
I'm
like
here."
The cut of your jib.
Yeah, and he's like, "This, whatever this is," which, by the way, I know about your dad. And I know he was hung in town square by a bunch of fucking stormtroopers.
Fucked up.
What if I told you there was a way to burn the fucking Empire down and have fun while you're doing it? And Cassian's like, no, that's not, no.
That's a little bit far.
I'm here to sell a Star Path unit, sir, and get the fuck out and avoid prosecution. And he's like, "Okay, but there are a bunch of soldiers here to find you, and I may be your only way out." So they realize that the abandoned warehouse is surrounded, right? And there's this really fucking cool thing where they hear, like, Luthen, when he comes in to their meeting, closes the door as he walks in, and they have their conversation, and they hear like some soldiers outside, and Luthen's holding this like button in his hand, and he's like, "So hey, here's a cool lesson about being a badass. Always make your exit on your way in." Without waiting for a response, hits the button, and the fucking door just explodes. And then like two soldiers wander in, shell shocked, and then fall over dead. And
God, Luthen's so great.
He is a badass. And by the way, there are these big heavy things hanging from the ceilings and shit. There's a whole fucking gunfight. And there, at one point, like, Cassian, like as they're about to escape, Cassian realizes the Starpath unit's still there, and Luthen's like, "I wasn't here for the Starpath.
I don't give a shit.
Leave
Let's
it.
go.
Who the fuck cares? Like, that's not why I'm here." So the people of Ferrix aren't necessarily happy about having the fuzz at their house, and so everyone starts banging on shit in like a rhythmic thing.
Yeah.
And this like really unnerves the
Can I say, like, the two seeming building blocks, like the foundation level things of world building on this planet are, number one, blue collar labor, number two, music.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do music.
They have these
by
weird musical traditions that are so cool.
Yes, yeah. Which we'll learn about, by the way, toward the end of the season. But a good moment to also shout out the composer of the series, who also did like the music for Succession. The music for the show is fantastic.
Yeah.
So this unnerves all of the corporate security guys.
What the fuck are they banging?
Because like
about?
they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, they're just banging on these things.
But it's still like really bothering them.
Yeah.
So Bix is like, this has to have something to do with Cassian.
There is no way that the entire city could be this turned upside down and
with Cassian being involved, right? So she runs to help him, and she's caught by Primor officers. So Tim goes to save her, gets shot dead, and you know what?
He gets sent to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
That's what you get for opening your fucking mouth, Tim Carlo.
Snitches get stitches.
Tim Carlo Esposito. Okay, so Marva, who is still in her home, listens to all of the clanking and shit, and like the officer that is babysitting her is like, "Why the fuck are they all banging?" And she's like, "That really fucking gets on you, doesn't it?" And she's like, "Let me tell you something. Maybe you're new to Ferrix, but you should be more worried about what happens when the banging stops." And the guy's like, What
the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. So, Luthen, Cassian and Luthen make a break for it through a back alley, and they plant explosives on a speeder bike and make a diversion, and they explode a bunch of... this whole operation for them has gone to shit.
Yes.
This was supposed to be a simple go and pick a guy up and bring him back. And he was not supposed to be approving ops, right?
No.
Like, no one knows he's here.
He was not supposed to be doing any of this.
Right.
And fucking Cyril Karn just wanted to be the hero.
So, by the way, there's a bit where Cyril's hiding, and then Cassian is within feet of him and has him at gunpoint, and spares his life, and it just deepens Cyril's like obsession with him. So, this is the face of a man who just realized he is very fired.
He has royally fucked up. He had one job, and he did the exact opposite of that job.
Yeah. So they have to go away from Ferrix empty-handed, a mountain of paperwork to explain why there are explosions.
A couple corpses they need to explain.
Yeah.
Like, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Yeah. Now, this episode has a beautiful ending where it tells two timelines at the same time. One of them, Marva carrying Cassian away on their ship, and Luthen carrying Cassian away pretty much. Not literally in his arms.
Yeah.
On his ship. Both of them moments when Cassian was brought into a bigger world by someone else, who was rescued from his current predicament and brought into a bigger thing, right?
Into a bigger predicament.
Right. So this is Andor Season 1, Episode 4, Aldani. So Cassian Andor wakes up on Luthen Rail's ship called the Fondor. And Luthen is like, "Look, dude, we have a rebellion. It's going to be fucking awesome. Come along with us.
We're going to beat the shit out of the Empire."
And Cassian's like, "No, I just want to get away from the cops. And I'm only doing this shit for money. Like, I'm not a freedom fighter. I don't want your shit." And so eventually he agrees to join a mission that Luthen's putting together. And he's like,
"Just one little job. We'll pay you a bunch, and then you can go our separate ways."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm only doing it for the money. And can my fake name be Clem?" And he's like, "Okay, that's
sure."
fine." So we get our first look at Coruscant,
Deidre.
in this era, which is sterile, vast, quietly terrifying.
Brutalist.
Yes.
Is I believe the architectural style they're going for here.
So Deidre, a new character that we meet, walks to work at the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau. Yeah.
These guys are cunts.
Right. Which, by the way, beautiful fucking building. That looks really cool. So she goes to work and hangs out with her boss, Major Partagas, who plays Qyburn in Game of Thrones, who is also amazing. He's like really sharp and sarcastic. He's very methodical. He's the head of the ISB, and everyone's very afraid of him. But he isn't cruel. He isn't a cruel supervisor. His style very much is we disagree about a thing. Your point, go. And then they both present points, give evidence, and he goes, "You convinced me. You won." That's his whole thing, right? So they hear about this thing that happened on Ferrix, and they're trying to wonder, is this rebels, or are rebels even a thing right now? And it's a whole thing. So Deidre raises some concerns, and it was like, I've noticed an unusual pattern of stolen Imperial equipment. Like, there was this thing from this place, and there was an Imperial Star Path unit from this thing, and I think that they might be all connected. And then one of her work frenemies, Blevin, this asshole right here, brushes her off. He's like, "You're so full of shit." She's like, "Fuck you." And so Partagas is like, "Okay, your point, go." And she lays out a pretty compelling case, and she wants to expand her jurisdiction, but Partagas pulls her aside, and he's like, "You might not be wrong, but you need more evidence." And so thus starts Deidre's obsession. And a big part of this show is about different people's obsession, right?
Yeah.
And so she gets her assistant. She's like, "Get the fuck over here. We are figuring this out." So
we are finding the pattern behind all this disappearing equipment.
Yeah. I have to remember, I messed the order up on my notes here. Okay.
So you arrive on Aldhani.
Hold this for a second. You know what the problem is right now?
What's the problem?
I can't read my own handwriting.
Oh.
Okay. So Luthen drops Cassian off on Aldhani, right? And they meet Vel, this chick right here. And oh shit. She, by the way, is the actor that plays the waif in Game of Thrones, and is also really good.
She's not a huge fan of Cassian.
Yeah, well, so he's like, "Hey, this is Clem. He's going to be on your team." And she's like, "Who the fuck's Clem?" And he's like, "He's a guy. We're down a guy. I got a guy. He's, this is great." And she's like, "Okay, the rest of the group's not going to like this. Let's make up a backstory for him. And by the way, when we get there, don't mention Luthen, because no one knows he exists. Only I do." So, we meet
this guy.
Yeah, then we meet the squad that's pulling off this job that they're doing. So this is Skeen, who is kind of grizzled, distrustful. He's got tattoos. He immediately hates Cassian for no real reason. This is Tamarin Barcona, who is he's an ex-soldier.
Has a blaster that looks suspiciously like an AK.
Like an AK, yeah. And then Nemec,
who likes Clem for no immediately detectable reason.
Nemec is also, he's the group's believer.
Yes.
He's got a manifesto.
He is the fucking grad student who got involved way over his head.
Yeah, this is the grad student that got radicalized.
Yeah.
Because he, out of the group, he's the guy.
He's the guy who sips the Kool-Aid.
And he's ready to die, to bring down the Empire. And then Cinta, who we find out later is fucking Val. They're both banging.
Which good for them, honestly.
Yeah. And then Gorn, who is actually a current Imperial officer, but is a turncoat.
Yes.
Right? So Luthen gets his face ready on his ship. And this is one of the those scenes in that show that it's so good. Because
Like, Luthen is just on a ship. He changes his clothes. He
Well,
puts
hold
on a wig.
Well, but before this, like, Luthen has been carrying around this intense sadness the whole time. And, like, you know that something has happened to him to get him to do what he's doing. And you can tell he's carrying these, like, insane, like, demons. And he does. He changes clothes. He, like, puts a wig on. And then he has to practice his smile in the mirror because he doesn't do it ever.
Yeah.
And so he gives himself a real wide smile.
He practices his mannerisms.
Yeah.
He puts on this entirely different person.
Yep. So he goes to work. He owns this art shop on Coruscant.
There's also, if I'm remembering this scene right, after he practices all this, he just reverts back to normal.
It just drops.
Luthen.
Yeah, it just drops. Yeah. Love how Cassian and Mando work together to bring down cartels back on Earth first. Oh, and right, and I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I know what show you're talking about. So, he goes to work. He's got this like artifact shop and his shop assistant Clea, right? Mm-hmm. So they're hanging around because they have an appointment. Who do they have an appointment with? Well,
motherfucking
if it isn't Senator Mon Mothma. So she shows up and like on the way, and she's like, "My driver's a spy." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay.
So,
well, why don't we discuss this in the back room?
Yeah, and so they have a whole conversation where he's showing her around to all the exhibits. He's like, "Oh, I'm looking for a birthday gift for my husband and blah blah, the one with the gambling problem. Remember him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I remember." Give him this big fucking baseball bat, and and then they are with coded language talking to each other about the shit that happened on Ferrix. And Mon Mothma's like, "What the fuck happened on Ferrix? Why were you on Ferrix?" And so the whole problem here is that Luthen takes risks, and Mon Mothma has a lot to lose by getting caught. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, "You're gonna ruin this for everybody if you keep doing shit like you're doing on Ferrix. Like calm the fuck down."
Her position, I think, is that she's trying to reform the Empire as much as she's willing to rebel.
Right, which, by the way, this is an idea that Mon Mothma, not soon after this, becomes disabused of very fast. Yes. And it starts when she has to kill a man.
Like, we will see her radicalization in real time, but at this point, she's still thinking, like, maybe we can fix the Empire. Yeah. Maybe we can reform it into something more resembling the Republic.
Yeah, I'm reading right now. I'm reading a Star Wars Reign of the Empire or something, which is mostly a Mon Mothma story, and she, like, kills a dude with her own hands. And then after that, she's like, "You know what? I'd do it fucking again."
Girls get it done.
Yeah. So,
oh, God.
Yeah. So,
God bless Cyril's mother. Like, not because she's a good person, because she's not, but just because she is so effective at taking Cyril down a peg.
Yeah. I don't remember where we are.
So Cyril,
Cyril has, my note says Cyril has the worst mother ever. Okay, yeah.
So Cyril moves to Coruscant to move back in with his mother,
because he got fired.
Which is just everybody's nightmare.
Yeah. Which, by the way, same actor, another Harry Potter alum who played Mrs. Fig.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Also a really good actor. He after meeting his mother, you know why Cyril is the way he is, because she's terribly overbearing and she's awful, right? So later that night, the group on Aldhani kind of like talk about what they're going to do. There's an upcoming event called the Eye of Aldhani, which is a celestial event that will allow them to sneak into the garrison. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the whole payroll for the whole sector is in their vault. And that's a lot of fucking money.
Shit ton of money.
And they're like, you know what would make a lot of pipe bombs? All of that money. So we're going to go steal it. And Nemik also fucking waxes poetic about people who are displaced and scattered by the Empire and cultural erasure and all this other shit. Yep. And you can
all that grad student shit.
Yeah, but he is so. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Nemik. It's another thing I should mention, especially in today's what we'll call it political landscape. I've been my partner and I have been rewatching this show, and we of course have the trailers for season 2. And I got to tell you, this show makes my blood run really hot sometimes. With that, all I'm saying is that Nemik says shit, and I'm like,
he's got a point.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Yeah. So, see episode 5, The Axe Forgets.
I love the line that the title comes from. Because it's so wonderfully evocative.
I don't think that's in my notes, so when we get there, say it.
Well, it's this scene, I think.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Well, all I have in my notes is that Cassian wakes up to find Skeen go through and shit, and which he really does not like. Because Skeen is like pretty sure he's hiding something, and Cassian's able to lie his way through it, and he's like, "No, I'm here for the revolution," and Skeen's like, "That's a bunch of bullshit. Like, come on."
Well, I don't know if it's this scene or not, but Skeen is like chopping firewood, and he talks about how like he was somewhere and the Empire did a crackdown on the whole planet.
When he tells us,
and he says the tree remembers, but the axe forgets.
Right. Yeah.
Which is just a perfect encapsulation of what that sort of crackdown does. Like for those people on that planet, like this is an incredibly traumatic event, but for the stormtroopers who did it, it was Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. It's just another day.
Just another day in the job.
Yeah. Right. So, Terramin kind of gives them some marching lessons. He's like, "This is how you look like a fucking Imperial," and they practice how they're gonna blend in during their infiltration, and how they hold their blasters and shit. And they kind of go into some of the plan, and Cassian's like, "Guys, this is not a very good plan. This is a little underbaked." And here are some ways that maybe you can make it better. Like, because this one fucking ship, your getaway ship, how the fuck are you going to fly that? How are you going to get off the fucking rails? And they're like, "Oh, we thought we'd figure it out when we got there." And he's like, "Well, we can't do it that way. Like, we have to figure it out now." Yeah. He's like, "You guys are the worst fucking rebels I've ever met."
But you have met us.
Right. Right. Yeah. So we get a little sneak peek at Gorn's dual life, who oversees the operations at the Aldhani garrison. And he's very good at pretending, while people are watching, to be the uncaring Imperial. But the second his back is turned, you can tell he's just waiting to burn everything down, right? So he is right now is trying to manipulate things to give the team their best chance. So they're like, he like walks up to a guy and he's like, "Hey, we're doing the Eye of Aldhani tomorrow, right? Like you're guarding this really important thing tomorrow." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why don't you take tomorrow off for the Eye of Aldhani? You treat yourself. You've been a good soldier. You showed to work
once.
Like go and watch the fucking meteors and come back when it's all over. And I won't tell anyone. Who would I tell? I'm your fucking boss."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, that's all right." So. Cyril Karn.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the entire show.
Yeah.
It's just Cyril eating cereal while he and his mother are passive aggressive at each other.
Right.
Like
she's like, "Well, Martha's son does this and that." And he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck Martha."
Also the blue milk. Excellent touch.
Yep. They do also there are a couple of references throughout the show of this shady uncle figure. Who she's like, "I'm going to call in." I can't even remember his name.
Uncle, whatever his name is.
Remember, this is not a new Rockstar's every detail you miss breakdown. I'm a little buzzed right now, and I'm doing a lot of this from memory, so shut the fuck up. But she was like, "Oh, I'm going to call in Uncle fucking Ned or whatever."
Yeah.
And
I can almost guarantee you we're actually going to see this uncle this season.
I would think so as well, because they mention it too many times for it to be a weird one-off thing.
And it looks like Cyril moves up in the world based on the trailers.
Real quick. Yeah. Well, even in this season, because she's like, "Oh, Uncle Ned is going to get you this real cushy job." And he's like, "Fuck Uncle Ned," frankly.
Yeah.
So at the ISB.
That's the wrong slide.
This is not the ISB.
It is not the ISB. Why don't you tell us about the ISB anyway? I think you missed a slide.
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What did I do? Well,
let's see. Where were we? We're a little bit past it. There we go. That's
the cereal scene.
Okay, here we go.
I'm using Google Slides, by the way.
Anyway.
So at the ISB...
That's a bot.
Oh, yeah. I told you, they're all on kick.
Yeah.
So Deidre at the ISB continues her case about the coordinated rebel shit, and Blevin the asshole tries to shut her down. But Major Partagaz finally thinks she has enough, and he's like, "Hey, kid, I like your drive. I'm giving you a short leash, but go get him," right? So Mon Mothma goes home to hang out with her husband Perrin and her daughter Leda. And so Perrin
is just the worst.
He's, I swear to God, if this were any other story, he'd be like the unemployed husband who plays video games all day and shit.
I think he is.
Yeah,
I think he is the Star Wars equivalent of that, because like his wife is a senator. What does he have to do?
He throws parties,
Yeah.
and he has a gambling problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Leda is she's a teenager, so she's an asshole, right?
But she's also trying to find her place in the world. She's trying to find what she believes in and what she wants to devote her life to.
Right. Which
we will get there.
Yeah, it turns out.
But she has found something that she maybe should not.
What's that thing she found? Being a trad wife.
Yeah.
That's what she wants to do. So Nemik and Cassian talk by the fire, and Nemik kind of like explains his belief system, and like how he's in it to start the revolution. Like that's his main. Doesn't care about literally anything else, including his life. Like if his life is spent bringing about this revolution, as a life well spent. Mm-hmm. And Cassian listens, and he's like,
that's fucking stupid.
You're a fucking crazy kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have some mental illnesses too. So welcome to the group. So Skeen, there's a little bit of a reconciliation between Cassian and Skeen. Skeen like opens up about his brother, who had a tree grove. This is where that conversation you were talking about earlier happens. But it's kind of a moment of unexpected vulnerability, right? And he makes very clear still, though, that he does not trust Cassian. And Cassian tells him, he's like, okay, well, if we're being honest, I'm being paid. And Skeen's like,
I am shocked.
Shocked. Yeah, first
to
of all,
discover that mercenaries are in the rebellion.
Yeah, but also we have one rule in the rebellion: is we don't do it for money. But you know what, kid? At least you're honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Nemik has built this adorable scale, like not to scale, but close.
Yeah.
Representation of the garrison, and they go through a little bit of their plan, right?
God bless his heart. Nemik is just trying so hard.
Yeah. So they explain so basically the plan is we take the governor.
We take some high-level hostages. We get the money. We load it on ships.
We use their ship, and we escape through the Eye of Eldani, and then everything. And no one will get hurt, and it'll be great.
Yep.
This is episode 6, the Eye. So early in the morning, the day of the op. It's like the calm before the storm, right? Yes. Val watches the stars fucking fade in and shit, and like she's like trying to compose herself, and Cassian is double checking all his gear, and Terramon's like barking out last minute orders and shit, and Nemik is like clutching onto his manifesto and shit, and everyone's a little afraid, but you can tell at least Nemik's like, let's do this, let's fucking go, man. So
let's burn this shit to the ground.
So they get their disguises. And they get a bunch of stolen Imperial uniforms. Terramon coaches them on their posture and shit, and then Val reminds Cassian, she's like, don't open your mouth unless you have, just don't say anything. Yeah. Okay. So Gorn starts overseeing preparations for the Eye of Eldani thing.
Because remember, this is a big native religious festival.
Right, yeah.
So the natives are coming to this gazebo to come see it.
And they keep referencing how beautiful it is, and like how it's like a once in a lifetime thing, right? And so he's still dismissing soldiers in the right spots to make sure that there's a clear path for their objectives and shit. And so all the Eldani natives arrive for their little party, the Donnies, and they show up. They do a little the ceremony where they trade hides and shit. And the officer in charge of the base, Commandant Behaz, and his poor son and his poor wife. And he's such a bastard about it. They're like trading skins, like these fucking smell really bad, and they don't even speaking. Oh, fuck these guys. And so he's fat and miserable, and you can tell this
was not where he wanted to be when he signed up with the Empire. He thought he was going to be fucking in charge of, I don't know,
the death
Corellia
camps or something. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Instead, he's stuck out here in the middle of nowhere in fucking space Scotland Highlands.
Right. So, so Cassian, Teremin, Nemik, and Skeen, they all get their pose on and shit, and they are posing as escorts for the Commandant and his family. Val and Cinta split off to approach the vault from like another entrance. They scale the dam, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And they also, I think their job is also to kill communications to a nearby airbase as well. So, like, everything seems to be going pretty okay. So, they take the governor hostage. They got guns on him, and they're like, look.
All right.
You're going to take us down to the vault, or we'll kill your family. And he's like, I don't even like my family. And he's like, well, we'll kill you. And he's like, okay.
I kind of like me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's not do anything hasty here.
So they march him down to the vaults and have him open it, and they begin loading the Imperial payroll into the getaway ship. And at some point, fucking Commandant Behaz decides to have a heart attack because he's morbidly obese.
In a stressful situation.
He's in the military, but you can tell this man has not done PT in a very, very long time. So a firefight starts. And an officer grows suspicious and radios for backup from the airbase. And there's this fucking killer shot because the Eye of Aldani event is starting, right? And we see these TIE pilots getting into their ships and stuff. And it's so fucking cool, this episode.
Gorgeous.
Incredible, yeah. So Cassian gets on the ship after a little scuffle with a guard, takes off. In the process, Nemik is crushed by one of the loose crates of payroll, and can't move from the waist down.
I think Gorn gets shot.
Oh, they take heavy casualties. Yeah, there are a bunch of people that die. Yeah, I think everyone dies except for Val and Cinta survive. Cassian. Nemik survives for the time being.
Nemik is alive for now.
Skeen survives.
Alive,
yeah. So they also earlier, a part of the plan was that like, how are we going to navigate through the Eye of Aldani because it's going to mess with all of our gear and shit. And Nemik's like, I've got this really cool fucking thing that doesn't need the internet, and it just does, like, it just calculates and shit, and it's very analog. It's very cool, and so that's like how they're gonna like get through it.
Yep.
So
and they boot up. They're flying away. These TIEs are coming after them.
They have
go right through this meteor shower, whatever the fuck the Eye of Aldani is.
So this one of the most visually breathtaking things I've ever seen in Star Wars. It is so good. It rivals fucking The Last Jedi, the Holdo maneuver from The Last Jedi, or it belongs in a top 3 of any of the like the wow moments in Star Wars. They have Nemik. They give Nemik like like some adrenaline straight to the throat.
Like, dude, we really need you to boot this thing up so we can get out of here.
Yeah, and he's telling Cassian like where to turn and shit, and he screams at him to rise, so to pull back and climb. I think he screams climb, and the team makes it out, but barely. Right.
Yep.
And all the TIE fighters that are chasing them all fucking die. So they take Nemik to a one Dr. Quad Paw, which you can tell is named for his 4 arms. Yeah. And Dr. Quad Paw is unable to save Nemik in time, and Nemik dies.
Nemik dies.
And it's actually really sad because Nemik was fucking, that kid was really cool.
But at some point, he had given Cassian his manifesto.
Not yet.
Or at least a copy.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So, Skeen walks up to Cassian. He's like,
this fucking guy.
Yeah. And he's like, Skeen's like, I got this really good idea. Like, all this has gone to shit. How about we split the money 50-50? We both leave. And he's like, oh, and all that shit I made up about my brother, that shit was fake.
Yep.
And without hesitation, Cassian pulls out his gun and shoots him in the head. And he's like, no.
Because Cassian does not fuck around.
Yeah.
When he decides has been revoked.
Yeah.
He revokes with extreme prejudice.
Yeah. So after Nemik dies, Cassian tells Vel, he's like, hey, Skeen was going he was going to betray you. I just want to leave with my share, and maybe a little bit more to buy myself a new life. And that's when Vel is like, this is Nemec's manifesto. He'd want you to have it. And so she gives, not that he would have wanted to have it. He asked Vel to give Cassian his manifesto as like one of his dying wishes. So, Mon Mothma back at Coruscant gives a speech because like everyone knows about what happened at Aldhani now, and like the Empire's up in a tizzy and shit, and Mon Mothma gives a speech about it, but no one really fucking listens to her. Major Partagaz is like, let me tell you, kids, they fucked with the wrong Empire. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. There will be a full investigation. There will be a response, and lots of people will die. All hands on deck. Tell your family you're not going to see them for a couple of weeks. And Deidre, who's in her seat, like, yes, I fucking knew it, man. I knew I was right. And the Imperial war machine has begun to wake up.
Slowly, ponderously clanks into motion.
Yeah. We're doing pretty good. We're at an hour.
Yeah.
And we're on episode 7.
Okay.
So we're a little more than halfway through.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Whew, okay. All right. So episode 7, announcement. The ISB headquarters is in crisis mode.
Yes.
They have an emergency meeting. Major Partagaz is here. This fucking guy's here from Star Wars episode 4. The Emperor wants swift, punitive response to the Aldhani attack. It wasn't the fact that they took all the money, which they did. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that much money. At least to the Empire. But the Emperor is like, who the fuck are these guys?
How dare they?
Yeah. So
how dare they take my money?
Right. So the ISB announces a new doctrine, the safety in our streets initiative.
Yes. Oh God.
Crackdowns, fucking increased sentences, mass surveillance. Like they're going 100% George W. Bush Patriot Act.
Mandatory
right?
minimums.
Yeah.
Surveillance in the bathrooms, just every unreasonable security.
Toilet cams, the whole thing, right? So Deidre speaks up because she believes the robbery is just like one of the moves in a larger pattern. And other people are, they're like, Deidre, shut the fuck up. And then Partagaz is like, girl, I think you might be right. And you know what? You should start looking into this more. And she like looks over at Beloved and was like, so Luthen learns from his hidden radio in his shop that the Aldhani heist was a success and they got away with the fucking money. And Luthen knows that the Empire is going to overreact, and that's the entire point.
Yes,
was to get like the Empire to crack down.
The money is nice. You can buy a lot of war supplies
just like the Star Path unit. Like it would be nice to have, but that's not why we're doing this.
But the point is, you need the Empire to overreact and look unreasonable, so that ordinary people are gonna be like, "Wait, this is fucking stupid. Like we should do something about this."
So yeah, and it's fucking like he's like, this is gonna blow back on them, and like this is the tinder of this rebellion, and this shit's gonna go up in flames really fast.
Response warrants counter response.
Right. So Mon Mothma shows up at Luthen's shop.
What the fuck did you do?
She's like, what do you know about Aldhani? He's like, Aldhani never met her. And she's like, don't fuck with me.
Do not fuck with me. What did you do? Because I know it was you, motherfucker.
Right. And he's like,
only you could have done something this crazy.
Right. And Luthen's like, you caught me.
Fair point. Yeah.
So Luthen tells her pretty plainly, like, the Empire won't be defeated politely. This thing that you're doing, like fix it from the inside,
it's not gonna work.
It's too late for that. A motherfucking Sith Lord is in control of the government.
2 of them, actually.
Yeah, this is not going to work the way you think it's going to work. And so all these crackdowns, pretty much most of everyone's personal freedoms have been canceled, right? And Mon Mothma's starting to realize she's got some loose ends that might get her caught now, because she wasn't expecting this increased scrutiny, right? And so she realizes she needs to start expanding her secret circle a little bit, because she's going to need some help to get out of the hole. So Cassian quietly returns to Ferrix, to Marva, and he's like, look, I made a shit ton of money. I won't tell you how. And she's like, Aldhani. He's like, well, yeah, but how the fuck did you know that?
Right. What?
Yeah, and she's like, Cassian, I'm 109 years old. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. And you know what? That shit that happened on... By the way, she doesn't actually know that he was involved in Aldhani. Yeah. But she knows that Aldhani happened. And Marva, even though she's 109 years old...
She is rebel to the core.
She's like... She's been waiting her entire life for radicalization, and this was it. And she's like, oh, fuck yes, let's do it. She's like... she's watching like MSNBC. Like, oh, shit, here it goes.
Yes!
Yeah. So, Cassian, he's like, okay, well...
All right.
No. See you later, I guess.
Yeah.
Bix. Cassian reunites with Bix, who is still really upset about Tim's death. She isn't very happy to see him, but tells him the town is under surveillance and warns him, it's like you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So, because Ferrix is no longer safe, Cassian fucks off. We get a flashback to Cassian's father figure being hung in the town square by stormtroopers with clone trooper helmets, which I thought is a really, really neat look. So we find out that Cinta stayed behind on Aldhani to kind of keep an eye on things and like try to figure out where the winds are blowing and shit.
There's a fucking Star Destroyer up there.
So Deidre is given some pretty sweeping authority now, and she refused Ferrix surveillance and asserts jurisdiction over all of Ferrix. And Partagaz is kind of happy to be on her side with this and everything. Transferring, he's like, you know what? All of Ferrix, that whole fucking sector, you're the god of Ferrix now. And she's like, oh, that's fucking great. So she's now also officially in charge of the Cassian Andor hunt, which Cassian has no idea this much heat is on him yet, right? So, meanwhile, Cyril starts a new job, which is basically in a call center.
Yeah.
Right?
He sits in an Imperial cubicle all day and presses buttons on his weird computer, and that's it. That's all he does.
So he's working at the Bureau of Standards, and it has something to do with fuel, I think.
Yeah.
And look, this is the guy that tailored his own uniform to look more like a badass.
That launched his own investigation against orders because he thought it would make him a big damn hero.
Yes. This is the worst job possible for him, right? This man craves adventure.
This is not check boxes. He fancies himself a big swashbuckling hero.
Yeah. Okay. So Mon Mothma meets with her friend Tay Kalma, who's this other guy.
This big party.
Yeah. They have a big old thing. Mm-hmm. They meet Tay Kalma, who's charming. He's a little secretive. Politically like-minded, but a little more cautious, right? Mm-hmm. So he agrees because Mon Mothma is like, okay, I want to level with you. I've been funding the rebellion. He's like, how much? Like $900 million. The thing is, like, they can see all those bank transfers now because of the Patriot Act. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh.
That's a problem.
Yeah, so you need... Okay, so right now as a Band-Aid, we're going to move that shit through some charitable accounts and shit, but, like, this is only a Band-Aid. We're going to have to go kind of ugly with this at some point. Cassian goes to Space Daytona Beach.
Space Daytona Beach. God, I love this
with a
place.
new identity. Fucking his name is now Keith Girgo.
Okay, all right.
Not a great name.
Florida man.
Yeah, he lies low. He's fucking spending days on the beach, living a quiet, anonymous life. He likes to party. He likes to flirt. He likes to hook up with girls in his hotel. Yep. But the Empire is everywhere now, and really with a wrong place, wrong time thing. He wasn't even doing anything shitty.
Just a K2 unit just fucking pins him against the wall, says you are under arrest, do not resist.
Right. They take him before the judge, and the judge just on a whim.
Guilty. Get him out
guilty,
of here.
6 years in prison, have fun. And he's like,
the fuck?
What? I didn't do it. And she's like, I didn't fucking ask if you did it. I said 6 years prison, get the fuck out of my face, kid.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I did some other stuff you might not be pleased to hear about, but I didn't do what you're accusing me of here. Like, this is bullshit.
So, episode 8, Narkina 5. Cassian arrives to his new home, which is a gleaming white Imperial labor facility surrounded by water. Mm-hmm. And the troopers tell him, like when they get there, they're like, "Hey, the floor's electrified, so if you step out of line, you're gonna get zapped." And he and the new prisoners are marched in to the intake room. Everyone's barefoot because of the floor, and the guards. They've got everything down to such a thing that
they have done this a million times before.
Right. They barely speak. Everything is managed through just like brute routine in the electric floor. Yeah. And so we meet Kino Loy.
Kino Loy.
Who is the captain of their floor's labor effort, right? He is gruff and commanding, deeply institutionalized, because he's been here for so long.
Played by Andy Serkis, who does not get to play under his own face enough.
Yes.
He is such a good actor.
Yeah.
You know him as Gollum from Lord of the Rings and probably a dozen other roles that you just never realize. Yeah, Snoke.
Yeah.
This is what he looks like.
Yep.
He is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, so good. So he tells Cassian, he's like, "I don't know what the fuck you were doing before this, but here we work hard, we keep our fucking heads down, and we live. All right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a bad guy. I just want to fucking survive until the end of my sentence. And I want you to as well. So don't cause any problems. I won't kick you in the fucking nuts. All right?" And Cassian's like, "All right, fine."
I mean, 6 years is an awful long time, but okay.
Yeah, and he's like, "I didn't do what they said I did." And he's like, "Kid,
heard that before.
Kid, I don't fucking care. You did it. You didn't do it. I don't fucking care. We don't even know what the fuck we're building these things.
We don't know what they do.
Do we know what they are? No, we don't know what the fuck they are.
We don't care.
We don't care. We don't ask.
Do our job. We get out of here."
Yeah. So Cassian joins table 5. And they build their weird mechanical thing. They don't even know what the fuck it is, right?
Weird gear with spokes or whatever.
Right. So Cassian watches for a bit and he learns all the different steps and stuff. And each team, everyone's scored for speed. And losers are punished with floor shocks. Mm-hmm. So, Deidre at the ISB HQ. She has fully seized control of Ferrix. Mm-hmm. She holds her own briefings and lays out Cassian's movements, like where he was. She orders surveillance on Marva, who she suspects might be a link to rebel activity. Which Marva, I think, would be. I have a feeling that if Deidre was like, "Marva, I know you're a fucking rebel," Marva would be like, "Aw, thank you."
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
So she calls a guy in. Cyril fucking Karn. Because he was involved in this botched raid, right? And the second Cyril walks in, he's like, "I love you, I'll die for you." And she's like, "Did not ask."
Didn't ask. Tell me what you know about Cassian Andor.
So he gives a report on what happens, and Deidre is like really creeped out by him. Mm-hmm. And she's like, and he's like, "But I can be a part of the investigation." And she's like, "We'll call you."
See, I know what happened the last time you investigated someone, motherfucker. Yeah. I do not want you anywhere near my investigation.
Right. She's like, "We'll call you. Don't call us. Mm-hmm. Stop texting me." So Mon Mothma has another dinner party. The Mothmas, Chris, throw a good fucking dinner party.
I mean, they're politicians. They have to.
And Parent seems to live for the dinner parties. This dude is in his prime. I
mean, he doesn't have anything else to do. Again, his wife is a fucking senator. He is set for life.
Yeah. So she more or less is just setting up more shit with Tay to move her money around. Perrin, her husband, is really passive-aggressive about the whole thing. I don't think he wants anything to do with any rebellion and shit.
No, he's got it good.
Yeah. And if anything...
And, he does not have anywhere near the moral scruples that Mon Mothma has.
Guys, Perrin's the Trump voter in the Mon Mothma family. He just is. And not because he's a fiery believer. Yeah. Just because he saw it on the news. Yeah. And he's like, you know what? They said on the news that he'd make the economy better. Oh, whatever. And,
he said lower taxes. I'm on board with that.
So Bix crawls up in her little thing and tries to send a message back to Luthen. Luthen receives the signal and then does not answer. And they're like, we're not going to contact her. Like, it's too fucking dangerous. I don't even know who that girl is. What the fuck ever.
Luthen is not a good person. It should be said.
No.
He is intensely driven towards his goals, and if those are good for the galaxy, fantastic. But he is not an intrinsically good person.
Right. He's got one goal, and everything else doesn't matter. By the way, we find out that Val and Cinta are both on Ferrix to spy on the Imperials there, because all of a sudden Ferrix has an Imperial presence.
Yeah.
So after several days, Cassian has become more efficient at work. The routine is merciless. They wake up, they work, they eat, they sleep, and they repeat the whole fucking day again. So Cassian eats. By the way, they eat this like flavorless, like they pull a tube out of the wall and they suck on it and shit. Hundreds of men, like they're all in identical fucking uniforms. No one speaks, and at one point, like there's a guy that just goes to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. That sends himself to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. Just fucking steps out, can't take it anymore. Steps out on the floor and gone. Yep. All right, this is episode 9. Nobody's listening. Fucking another good episode. All these episodes are so good. So, Cassian Andor, who is not going to be prisoned anywhere, thank you very much, keeps asking Kenoi, how many guards are there? Where does the fucking elevator go? Where are the tools stored? And Kino is like, stop asking those fucking questions. Because, look, one person is going to overhear you asking me that, and then it's going to be my ass. So, how many guards are there? Too fucking many. Where does the lift go? I don't fucking know. I've never been on the fucking lift. Where are the tools stored? I don't know. They're right fucking here. When we leave, they go away. We come back, they're here. Leave me alone. So, Bix is captured. She's arrested by the Imperials. And Brasso, by the way, realizes and is unable to help. And so this is the start of the whole ordeal with Bix. And she is, in another amazing scene in the show, is tortured by one of the creepiest men I think I've ever seen in TV, who has put together a playlist for her of these alien children dying. And their screams are a form of intense psychological torture for humans. And so they torture her. And then I don't think we even know at this point what she gives up information-wise.
No.
But it's horrifying. And when it's happening, there is no sound, which makes it even more unnerving.
Yeah.
So Deidre tells the ISB that Bix... Oh, I guess she did give him valuable intel. But they don't know Cassian's current location, right?
Because he was arrested under a fake name,
right? And no one knows where he is, right? Yeah. He's in there as Keith, whatever the fuck.
And I guess they just never bothered to compare pictures, because like,
I don't know. As we've established before, I don't think the internet actually exists in the Empire, so I don't know. So she orders more surveillance, makes Marva like priority 1, which again Marva would find out and be like, "Oh, thank you." So, Cassian discreetly recruits another prisoner, this guy, Zhao, to help him loosen a water pipe. And he's like, hey, what do you know about the fucking pipes in the bathroom? And he's like, they got water in them. And he's like, oh, okay, tell me more. So, Cassian is clearly laying the groundwork for an escape, right?
He don't want to be here no more.
Cassian Andor will not be imprisoned. So we find out a pretty shocking thing. First of all, that Mon Mothma and Val are cousins.
Yes.
By the way, her daughter Lyta loves Val, and Val is very good at pretending to be the thing that Lyta wants to be, which is a trad wife, pretty much. But we know that that's not who she is, right? So,
she's not trad at all.
Right.
She's gay.
Oh yeah, she is pretty lesbian. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, her buddy Tay is like, okay, so you know how I said we were just going to move money around charities? And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, that might not fucking work. And I got one other backup plan. You're going to have to work with this guy that you fucking hate. His name's Davo. there's no better. He's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah.
This is what he is, and that's your option now. And she's like, okay,
well, shit.
Okay then.
All right.
So Luthen goes to pay a visit to our old friend Saw Gerrera.
Saw.
Yeah. Who is in a hidden base. By the way, Saw is such a maniac that no one wants anything to do with him, even the hardcore guys.
Yeah.
Because I think Saw just wants to blow up things and watch people scream. Like that's just he's kind of the Punisher of the Star Wars universe, actually. Yeah. So he's also really unstable.
Yes.
He's really paranoid. He's really volatile. He doesn't like collaborating. And Luthen tries to convince Saw to work with a guy named Anto Krieger, a rebel leader planning to attack an Imperial power station. And Saw's like, no, fuck that guy. Fucking hate him. And they're like Luthen's like, you ever met him? He's like, no. Well, fuck that guy.
Oh.
Goodbye. And so Luthen's like, okay, I guess I'll fucking go. Cyril follows.
Oh, girl, no.
Follows Deidre to work.
Like, the way you say that makes it sound really creepy, and it is.
Exactly.
Like, Cyril is a giant fucking creep.
That's exactly what it is. He follows her to work, and he's like, hey, girl. She's like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
He's like,
here?
let me help you find Cassian Andor. I really want to help you, and also I want you to step on me.
Yeah, step on my ball sack, please.
She's like, I will file a restraining order.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
She's like, I could have you put away in a place you've never heard of for the rest of your life. And he's like, would you please? So she's pretty much like, don't ever come here again. And I swear to God, I'll kill you. So, something is wrong up on level 2. Something weird is happening. So all the levels are all, they don't talk to, they're not allowed to talk to each other. Mm-hmm. Though they do have a weird hand signal thing that they do through the windows. But rumors start to fly around that the guards killed an entire floor. And that it was a mistake that they made and they were covering it up. And what ends up happening is that a guy who was set for release was released and then was brought back to another floor on accident. They were supposed to take him to another world, to another prison, but they put him back where he was. And everyone was like, what the fuck, dude? You're supposed to be freed. Yeah. And he's like, no, they extended my sentence. Like, they just arbitrarily were going to send me somewhere else. And so to cover it up, they kill the entire floor, right? So the one of the old guys on there's a guy on their team. He's an older guy, which, by the way, plays a character in the 1989 Batman, has a stroke and is in really rough shape. And the prison, the response is, it's like, oh, I mean, he's not going to be able to work anymore. Just fucking throw him out the fucking
get him out of here. He can be replaced.
Right. And Kino liked that guy a lot. Mm-hmm. And it started, and then Kino hears the rumor about how all of the release dates, it's all a sham. You're just going to come right back in anyway. And it's kind of a commentary on recidivism with American prisons. Mm-hmm. And something snaps in Kino, and they fucking line up, and Cassian asks Kino how many fucking guards are on each floor, and there's a beat of silence, and he says never more than 12. And then the episode ends.
Has been radicalized.
Yeah, and you're like, let's fucking go. Yes. So episode 10, One Way Out. Oh, Jesus Christ,
God,
this episode. So Cassian and Kino digest the horror that level 2 was wiped out because a prisoner was mistakenly re-released into another floor. They figure out how many guards there are and shit, and they're trying to figure out, how do we bust this shit open? How do we get the fuck out? Cassian and other prisoners kind of like they're like exchanging their ideas for the plan and shit. But they have to go tomorrow during a routine personnel rotation because things are going to be a little more chaotic than usual, and it's a good time for them to break up. So Marva on Ferrex, Marva's health is worsening, and she's refusing to take her meds, and she's starting to become a problem for the Empire. where she goes on a little walk and likes to gather some information and pass it along and shit. And there's this heartbreaking thing where she talks about it, about how when they hung her husband in the town square, how every day on her way to work she had to avoid the town square, and now she walks right through the town square with a smile on her face because she knows that she's working to burn the Empire down. And it's like, the fucking testicles on this woman are insane. And but she's not doing very well health wise. And Deidre's watching her, by the way. And they say not to arrest her. They're really just waiting for Cassian to show up, right? Because they have no idea that he's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So Anton Krieger walked into an ambush at Spell House, which is a thing that Saw and Luthen decide to do, where they're like, oh, we're gonna cook Krieger. Mm-hmm. We're gonna turn him over to get some to get a better footing against the Empire. And
if I remember right, Luthen says he's gonna do this, and Saw is like, that's a little bit fucked up, man. Like, even for me,
Saw Gerrera,
if you're willing to sell out Krieger, who's to say you're not willing to sell out me?
Yeah, right. And so, I have to sneeze. I thought I did.
Power through it. Oh, there it is. There we go. Proud of you.
Only one. I usually sneeze in sets of 3, and I have no idea why. Anyway, so they're also wanting to ensure that the ISB doesn't have a mole.
Mm-hmm.
So they come up with this plan to make it look like there was like a accident or something. So Mon Mothma gets further into deep shit and meets with Davo Skoldoon, shady Drolian financier.
Mm-hmm.
Who's definitely a terrorist. So
this guy is the worst.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'll move your money around. No one else will ever fucking know where it went or where it came from. If you marry off your daughter to my son in a political match. And she's like, fuck no.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. She's like, fuck no. And her daughter's like, fuck yes, that kid's hot. Like, political marriage, all the trad wife shit I want to do, this is all it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mon Mothma's like, for fuck's sake.
But Mon Mothma, to her everlasting shame, is like, do it.
All right.
Fucking burns her own daughter in a situation that she knows that she's going to end up regretting. Something she could stop. Fucking burns her daughter.
She could have said no.
Yeah.
But, like, something about Luthen is getting to her.
Yeah. Well, she's fucked. If they find out about her money, which they're very close to doing anyway, she is fucked. Like,
yeah.
Like she'll be put to death. All right. It's the last fucking work shift over at Prison Factory. And Cassian and the others are trying to act normal. They're all hiding tools and shit in the places they need to be. Kino Loy is trying to also, like, they're trying to keep everyone to look like they're working and shit. And the tension is building, and a new prisoner arrives. And as the platform lowers, Cassian jams a lift, and they start their whole fucking thing. And Cassian runs into the bathroom and saws open a water pipe, and the water, like, floods the floor and shorts out the electrical floor. And chaos fucking erupts, right? Prisoners are rushing guards. They're throwing tools. One fucking guy's climbing a fucking elevator and shit. The klaxons start fucking blaring, and they take a guard down and they get his blaster, and that's all they need. And they start climbing floors, mowing down guards as they go. Fucking take out the guards on one floor, lean over the rail, be like, the floors are off. Fucking get in. We're doing a prison break, right? So they make it up to the command floor. And Cassian's like, Kino, fucking give everyone an inspirational speech. Yeah. And Kino gets on the mic and he's like, we've taken control of the prison. And Cassian's like, motherfucker, you gotta do better than that.
You gotta be inspiration.
Yeah, like, come on, fucking step. And he gives this fucking, like, this amazing monologue. And you should, I mean, go watch it because it's way better than we'll ever be able to do it justice. But he says, there's only one way out. Right now, the building is ours. We'll never have a better chance than this. And then it says, I'd rather die trying to take them. I'd rather die trying to take them down than give them what they want. And if we can fight half as hard as we've been working, we'll be free. And then ends his speech with one way out. He says, one way out, fucking drops the mic. And Cassian's like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. So the fucking...
everyone starts climbing up to the very top floor where there's a door
leading out to the ocean. And they all line up and people start jumping off and swimming the fucking shore. And Cassian turns to Kino. He's like, let's fucking go. And Kino's like, shit, dude, I can't swim. I don't know how we didn't think of this, but I can't fucking swim. And
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. And
like this is the guy who's been the heart and soul of their rebellion after like he got moving on it.
Right.
And he can't go with them.
Right. And so Cassian and his buddy Melshi, they fuck off. They escape.
There you go.
And they leave Kino there, who I believe he's coming back in season 2. He and Melshi escape. Melshi, by the way, is a character we will end up seeing in Rogue One, which is really cool. Does not live to the end of the movie, but that's okay.
Very few characters do.
Right. And then Luthen meets this guy named Lonnie Jung, who you might recognize his face from a recent frame in the ISB, because this man is the ISB mole, right? And he's very unassuming, kind of meek, very easy to miss. And he's been feeding the rebellion information. But
he wants out.
Yeah, he's like, I've got a kid, and like if they catch, like they will kill me and my entire family. And Luthen is like, sorry, that's not how we do it. And he gives Lonnie another monologue in an episode that has an amazing monologue already. Another monologue, and explains to Lonnie,
it's like, look,
what we're doing
all in
here.
on this shit.
Yeah, he's like, this is what we're doing here.
I am giving everything I have, including my life, to burn down the Empire.
Yeah, he says exactly, I burn my life to make a sunrise I know I'll never see. I share my dreams with ghosts. I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. And then he looks at Lonnie. He's like, no, you are in this forever. Now get the fuck back to work. And he's like, okay. Did you practice that before I came down here? That whole monologue? All right. Episode 11, Daughter of Ferrix. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're making pretty good time, actually. Okay.
Just keep it rolling.
This is going way better than Game of Thrones, by the way. So, oh, I need to go one more. There. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So Cassian and Melshi continue their escape, and they meet a couple of fishermen who turns out they don't really like the Empire either, and so like, you know what? We'll give you a fucking lift to Space Daytona Beach. So Marva has died. Yes. She got an illness. She died, which is wont to happen with people this age. They just they go down really quickly. You know, they get some kind of pneumonia or some shit. So her body is being kept by the Daughters of Ferrix, which is a local civic group that she was like the chairman of, or chairwoman of. Brasso and B2 are devastated. Especially the droid, who is just like emotionally broken, which you have to ask yourself, if a droid like this can become emotionally broken, why the fuck are you enslaving them in the first place to do petty jobs? He doesn't want to be alone. The droids in Star Wars are sentient creatures, and they relegate them to doing shitty jobs. It's disgusting. So Bix is still in prison, by the way.
Being tortured.
Yeah, and is who the fuck is, like, her brain is somewhere else, right? So the ISB moves in. They see Marva's death as an opportunity, as bait, because they know that Cassian, there's no way that Cassian's not going to come back for his mother's funeral. And so Deidre approves the event happening as long as they keep the numbers low and they have complete control over everything, and blah 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 blah. And then while this is happening, Cinta is also in town undercover watching the people watching Marva, or watching for Cassian. So on Coruscant, Luthen and Clea receive word of Marva's death, and Clea and what's her name they have a conversation about Cassian, which is Cassian is the only guy that knows who Luthen is. We don't know whose side he's on. We need to kill him. And Clea is like, fuck yeah, we do. And so Val's like, well, all right, I'll go to Ferrix and kill him then.
I'm your girl.
All right. This is way out of order. I don't know what this is doing here.
Huh. I don't know.
This should have been 2 episodes ago. Anyway, we'll skip that.
Yep.
So Cassian and Melchior dropped off back on Space Daytona Beach. Cassian sneaks into his old hotel room and gets his shit, like all of his money, his hidden blaster, and Nemec's manifesto. And while he's doing this, he hears Nemec's voice in his brain saying, the pace of repression outstrips our ability to understand it. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, it leaks. And then Cassian calls home and learns that his mother, Marva, has died. And he doesn't speak. He just listens. He hangs up, and you know that he shouldn't go back, right? But
like it is so obviously the worst place for him to go,
right? But it's Cassian Andor, and no one's gonna tell him what the fuck to do, so he's gonna go. He and Melchi split up, and Melchi says they need to tell people what's happening at that prison, and they need to build the rebellion, right? And so he heads in one direction. Cassian heads to Ferrix. So Luthen gets pulled over. Pretty much, it's a routine traffic stop, and they pull him over. And look, if they board his ship, he's fucked.
Yes,
right. And so he's like, okay, we're gonna play this cool and everything. And then he sends all of his information over and shit. And on the whim of the commander of this Imperial ship, who is basically like, we need the practice, let's just board him. And they're like, okay, well, go ahead and pull over. We're gonna board you, and
Luthen's like, no,
he's
you're
like,
not.
No, I don't think so. And he activates these countermeasures in his ship, which include they grab
ship-sized lightsabers for some reason.
So the Imperial ship has a tractor beam that grabs him, and he's got a flak burst that destroys the entire thing, and then he's got the lightsabers that cut through the fucking TIE fighters. And it is badass. This sequence is badass. So he destroys the tractor beam. This is the face of a very sad Imperial who just had his tractor beam ruined. So on Ferrix, Brasso is trying to comfort the droid here who's still grieving Marva. The daughters of Ferrix announce their funeral plans. The ISB is preparing for Cassian's return. Cinta, Corv, Deidre, Cassian, fucking Cyril gets a message from his old buddy from his bootlicking days, who's like, I think Cassian's going to be on Ferrix. Fucking Cyril's on his way to Ferrix. Everyone's coming back to Ferrix, right? All right, episode 12, Rick's Road. So Deidre arrives on Ferrix personally, flanked by fucking Death Troopers. Yep. Yeah. So Cinta is watching Corv, who's undercover watching for Cassian. Everyone's waiting for Cassian, right? Because the second they see Cassian, the Imperials are going to kill him, or the Rebels are going to kill him. like he's either way, he should not be here. Cassian slips in undetected. He meets with Pegla, who's a guy. Who tells him about Bix, and Cassian's like, oh shit, I have to go rescue Bix. The parade for Marva's funeral starts, and the band strikes up a mournful tune, and it's kind of slow, and they march through the streets and shit.
I love their instruments because if you look closely and you know what you're looking for, you can see underneath all the greeblies what they're actually doing and what they're playing.
Yeah, because this looks kind of like a clarinet.
It's a flute. or clarinet.
Well, this part's a clarinet, but this part's a flute, and like this kind of looks like There are metal clarinets, by the way. That's exactly what this is a flute right here. Is a flute bit right there, like you can tell. And then like some of them are like little mini euphoniums and baritones and shit. Yeah. So while the funeral is unfolding, Cassian breaks into the garrison and rescues Bix. She's mentally and physically damaged. She's still recovering from the torture. And Cassian's like, come on, girl, we're going to go. And then Marva's final message is played. And we already had 2 monologues that would have been enough for the entire show. But then they give a third one, and it is fucking the cream of the crop.
Fuck the Empire.
Yeah. And so the droid projects a hollow recording. And she gives this whole thing, and she says, I've been sleeping. I've been turning away, but now I'm awake. And I want the Empire to know Ferrix does not belong to them. If I could do it again, I would wake up early and fight these bastards. And as soon as she says that, the Imperial officer in charge is like, oh, shit. Oh, God. And he tries to throw his cape around the droid and disrupt the thing right as she says, fight the Empire. And legend has it, and this was also confirmed by Tony Gilroy, the original and the version that they recorded was Marva saying, fuck the Empire. And when, like, I went and watched this monologue earlier today, they put in a digital artifact, like a little stutter in the hologram, right on that word. They were going to do it, I think. And everyone
Another
freezes.
really cool part about this is that, like, apparently in funeral rites on Ferrix, like, your body is burned down and you're turned into
they have a little brick.
Yeah.
Right, with their name on it.
So Brasso's carrying this brick.
The brick. Yeah, hold on, though. Yeah, he's carrying the brick.
He's carrying Marva's brick.
So she says, fight the Empire. And everyone freezes. And everyone's looking at each other. And the Imperial officer kicks the droid over. And then violence erupts. Because they're like, fuck you.
That's her. That's the brick.
Brasso with his fucking brick just goes ape shit, and everything erupts into violence, and like everything is chaotic. Like,
I think Brasso either beats someone to death with his brick or throws it at someone.
No, he beats someone to death with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is absolutely the way Marvel would have wanted.
Right. This kid chucks a pipe bomb into the Imperial ranks, and it blows up a bunch of their ordnance, and so now everything's exploding and everyone's screaming. Cyril's like, not again, fuck. And it just utter mayhem everywhere, right? Luthen is watching this whole thing, trying to like figure out if Cassian's going to be there, trying to figure out where everything's going. There's a really cool shot before everything kind of breaks down where Deidre is standing watching the procession, and right behind her is Luthen. It's like the guy that she's looking for is literally next guy behind her. Yeah. It's really neat. So Cyril rescues Deidre and pulls her into a room, and he's like, again, I'll fucking die for you. And she's like, thank you, but why are you like this? But the indication here is that maybe they share a little bit of their obsession for capturing Cassian, right?
Can you imagine how toxic that relationship would be?
But let's not pretend like we wouldn't know who the pants were, too. Like Deidre
is absolutely the top there. Yeah.
So Cassian, Bix, Brasso, Jezzy, Willman, and B2 escape through tunnels, and they get on a ship. Cassian loads everyone on. He tells Brasso to takes care of Bix. He gives Nemec's manifesto to B2, and he was like, "Hey, we'll find each other." Meanwhile, Mon Mothma's daughter is married off to someone, and she watches on in horror. But this is what she's got to do, right?
Yeah.
And then Cassian gets on the ship with Luthen and confronts him, and he's like, "I'm in, like 100% in. Yeah. I've got nothing left. The only thing I care about now is killing the Empire. So either kill me or take me in." And he's like, "I'll take you in." this is the start of a really
this
good
is
relationship.
what I wanted in the first place. So great.
And he fucking takes Cassian away, now ready to wage war against the Empire. And then a post-credit scene, we find out that the little bits that they were building in the prisons were actually a part of the Death Star. Yep. And that's the end.
That's one of my favorite revelations of this entire show.
Yeah. It's also it's terrifyingly sad.
Yes.
That they that's obvious. When I watched it the first time, I had a feeling that that's probably what they were working on, because we know from Legends and from the newer canon that they were using a bunch of like illegal workforces to build it and shit. So that's the end. We made it through. Fucking
that's quicker than I thought it would be.
Yep. Starting next week, when we have our next podcast on Wednesday, that will include the Andor season 2 after show, starting at 6:30.
So make sure you watch it.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be really fucking good.
Yep.